Right, we're rolling.
We ready?
I think so.
Shall I start?
No, I'll start.
Who's starting?
Me.
Go on then.
Always.
What do you mean always?
I just think I should start.
Why?
I like starting.
Go on then.
Okay. Welcome back to episode 4 of NFT Party. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't yet, if you're new, like and subscribe. We are bringing these podcasts out once every single week, so there is a lot more to come. And I can swear, shit, man, this is like a crazy time right now in the crypto markets particularly, but obviously that has a massive knock-on effect for everything NFT related. But I mean, just before we got down into the studio here to film, ETH has dropped another like 8% or something. But
yeah, ETH is going mad at the moment.
Crashing.
So is Bitcoin. Just the whole market is dead, which is actually really sick for us and for people who are really long on this. But it's flushing out people who are just here for the gold rush at the moment. Do you know what? It kind of bewilders me.
Why does it bewilder you, mate?
Because it's like, just like history repeats itself time and time again. There's been these drops and then it's gone back up, and it's the same with like the stock market. And people say, "Oh, there's so much money that can be made in a bear market." Like some of the biggest businesses get built during a bear market. I was like only watching something, like Robert Kiyosaki guy.
Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, he was saying.
I don't know how I feel about him, to be fair. I think
me
he's
either.
A snaky dude.
But he was saying something like, I saw something where he said it's the best time to build businesses and the success rate is higher or something like that. But it does kind of make sense for me.
All the biggest dons in that space have always said that, mate. And to be honest with you, I mean, a couple of years ago, it's probably about a couple of years ago that I really started paying attention to crypto. And all the guys that I was following, I guess like the influencers in that space, that's such a cringe term, but
yeah,
you know, the people that you're looking up to, you're learning your strategies from, you're learning about it from, they're always saying like, oh, when there's a crash, that's when you get rich. That's when people get scared and you can make money. And I shit you not, honestly, I've been looking for, I don't want to come across like insensitive. I realise people have lost like plenty of money right now, and the feeling is not good. But
gassed.
I'm kind of excited. Yeah, 100%. And I've got to be authentic here. But me and you, our sentiment.
No,
how excited
gassed.
have we been?
We are so gassed.
And
again, honestly, every time we got on the phone, we'll phone each other, and it'll be like some 20-minute call about how gassed we are that ETH's dropped or like Bitcoin's dropped or the state of the market. It's crazy
because we can accumulate in periods like this, and this is when you can go up another bracket of
it's true,
wealth,
man. Like,
basically.
it really shouldn't be like this whole. The thing is, I feel like this is the problem. Like, just from like an investing standpoint, is that if people are putting all their savings, they've stacked away money, all their living costs are sorted, and then they've got this money, and they're putting it all into one thing that is so volatile. That's where you've made the wrong move, and that's where I feel sorry for people, because these crashes are going to happen, and the volatility is always going to be there. That the loss for you at that point, is particularly with the way the whole world is looking right now in terms of financially. Then it becomes kind of devastating for you, because you're like, oh, at one point you could have been like, yeah, I've got, let's say, 20k worth of ETH stacked up, and now it's worth fucking next to nothing. So then, like, really your strategy needs to be just being like, yeah, I put a bit towards this, a bit into this, and I do actually put some cash away for a rainy day. I mean, that's just my take on it, so that you don't have to like shit yourself in these situations.
The people that are losing in this situation, I guess, the people that have not protected their investments, if you like, with cash and are being forced to sell. That I understand, that's painful. You're losing money, so people
exactly.
You know, like, again, we don't want to come across as insensitive, realistically.
Not at all, man.
Because obviously, you know, people have lost massive figures on their balance, essentially. But you're only losing if you sell it.
And I also think it's worth saying that, like, everyone. Like, you'll hear everyone say you want to beat inflation and all this stuff, and making money, like having investments and putting money into investments is like everything you should do with your money. And I think, 100%. But there is that side that although I don't believe having like stacking a load of cash in the bank is the right way to do it, but just having some liquidity for yourself, particularly for times like this, that you can be like, right, I don't have to make those panic decisions and cash out losses, particularly in something that, well, hopefully you'd believe in for the long term if you're investing in it.
I'm just so excited.
It's really a huge opportunity.
Bro, I mean, it's come down like 8% today. I'm just going to double check that figure, what that was, but yeah, it's gone down 8.42%.
Well, you were telling me you've seen some like crazy predictions of where that will go. I mean, obviously no one knows, but still, like, I definitely don't think this is the end. Further. Yeah,
I think so. And
timing this is well, it's impossible to time everything, but I think the general consensus is that it will go down more, and that trying to find like even closer to the bottom rather than the absolute bottom and buying in a little bit each week whilst it's so low.
I mean, I don't. The thing is, though, you don't want to try and time the bottom.
Yeah,
you want to basically do what you were doing and saying when you were telling me off camera,
little bits
drip feed. Call it DOS. Cost dollar average, dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
Where you're dripping over time and generally you get a better price for that reason. But bro, I mean, it's exciting times for people. Imagine if you just getting into it now and you weren't exposed to the pain that's going on, and you would just be able to accumulate right now. If you've got spare cash, I mean, all you should be doing right now is trying to think, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, is just trying to put as much money into this right now. Bitcoin, Ethereum, 100%. Solana.
Well, this is what we were saying in terms of like, if people, we're fortunate that we've been in it for a while. So we also, and we're heavy believers in it long term, the tech, that everything underlying, that we know that, like, we've seen what it can do and what it's like, and what it's like to be in it when it's going good.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were coming in it right now, you'd be a bit like, whoa, this is like fucking...
Unfortunately, I guess there's a lot of people that have just gotten off the bull run, so all they know is like mad growth.
Exactly. And then there's those people who just came in on the gold rush side of things, which is like that survey we were talking about that Dexter Labs did, that said, like, they did a survey based on how much, like, why people bought NFTs in particular, which were, and the resounding answer, which by far was like just to make money, which is obvious. And like, this will flush some of those people out who have just gone in on a whim. Usually, like,
they don't really know what they're on about and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it will keep the people who are building now and doing these things now that are actually believing it for the long term, like the whole space, not just like Ethereum, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies or NFTs, just everything. And they're like, yeah, this is going to be a thing, and this is something I'm going to put money into. And we'll talk about things later on in the podcast that about like big moves that people are doing right now that like indicates that there are people out there with like sick records and history of business and building things that are still very heavily believing in this space and like the things moving forward.
I mean, that's mate. We are like, our belief, when you think about it, just from a sample of two, like, our belief's never wavered, and that I suppose is probably why we're so optimistic. It's like we just gassed that the prices come down so we can buy more, because like I genuinely believe, I know you do as well. This is, I mean, so many people see it as like, oh, crypto's over, and like, are you mad? Why are you taking that view? It just goes to show people don't really know what they're investing in.
100%.
And so many people probably just bought it because their mate told them to.
Remember when you were like, oh, like, imagine like the value of like 1 ETH, and you're like, oh, I've just made like 10 ETH or something.
Bro, I mean, like 2 months ago, we were like, oh god, it was hard to get an ETH.
Yeah.
Like, you have to put like a lot of money into getting ETH, and right now, like,
I'm talking like $2,500, like, and we're talking like 800 quid today,
literally,
for one
ETH.
This
is like, you can come out the other side of this now if you set it up right. Yeah. But you could accumulate, like tens of ETH if you were to like hustle and grind on it. I know. I love ETH. You could.
George wants to get a tattoo saying .ETH.
I wish we had the audience to actually vote on that.
Yeah, that would be jokes.
Do you think Jack should get an ETH tattoo on his knuckles?
.ETH.
Yeah, we love ETH, man.
No, it's sick though. But there is,
like, we can accumulate right now. Like, I'm just, oh god, I'm having absolute mare with this mic, bro. just killing me. No, bro, how much do you want to accumulate right now?
Oh man,
you come out of this in like a year's time or 2 years time when this is recovered. with like a couple of full bitcoins and like
as
tens
much
of
ETH
ETH,
as you can, yeah.
which was unthinkable like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I
Just goes to show.
just think it's stat, man. I mean, we fucking love this space though. That's just a given, I guess. Like we're kind of like we're so into it. We're planning for the future with it. We're like kind of building our lives around it at the moment. That like obviously we're going to be unwavering and with what we want to do towards it. But yeah, man, just for the people who and the people who are really struggling right now mentally and things like that. If you ever want to hit us up to chat to us about it, our DMs are always open on TikTok and Instagram and wherever really. So hit us up. But
because we're optimistic and that's not changing. Like,
yeah,
this is a time to accumulate, and if you can figure out ways to be able to get money into this space, the faster the better, really.
And I think one for those people who think this is it, it's popped now, the bubble's burst and this isn't coming back. Just shit. I mean, there is huge brands building right now, things that have dropped even in the past couple of weeks that like we've been looking at that we're like, shit, this proves that this isn't going anywhere. And
God, I hope actually
market.
if there's one thing that people can take away from this podcast, then after we've gone through everything, that's a sense of optimism that people can take away. Yeah. Because people are building right now. Yeah. There are brands building, there is the technology that's coming and it's building. Like I can't wait to get into the Fox stuff because like there's some insane quotes that will drop out in a bit, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But there are big companies that are just dipping their toes into NFT, into blockchain, into NFTs in blockchain, crypto. It's not going anywhere.
And I guarantee that there's a lot more building without like that we don't even know about right now.
Oh
like,
yeah,
there's shit
exactly.
Going on.
I mean, that's just the shit that we know about. So,
exactly.
So here you go. Then you see daily dose of optimism.
Yeah,
from Jack and George. Right then, let's do a bit of a news roundup, market roundup, and such.
Cool.
Let's start with the Nickelodeon NFT because I know you're quite excited about this.
I just think that's sick, mate. So just like a brief overview, they're dropping a collection, I think, on the 19th of July. Am I correct? Yeah. And it's going to be a profile picture collection, 10,000 pieces or NFTs, split between Rugrats and Hey Arnold. Hey DW. The library card. No, but anyway. So, like, the reason this is gassing me up is two things. So, Viacom CBS, which is now known as, like, Paramount, I think just Paramount, I'm not really sure, but they own a shit ton of, like, media companies. So, Nickelodeon's one of them. And they spoke about, it was an article that came out a while ago, which basically said they're looking to get into the space with all the IP they own. Obviously, Nickelodeon owns so much IP, so much nostalgic IP for particularly me and you. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking like the...
Is that just British kids or is that Americans as well? Surely.
I'd imagine it's Americans.
Surely Americans.
Well, surely.
I have to ask
but
Nick.
Like, yeah, legit. But yeah, I guess like for me, it's like it might just be collectibles. All I've heard of is that it is collectibles right now. But
So let's run down the IPs that Nickelodeon have that they're using in the NFT project.
Right. So this NFT project that's coming out to do Nickelodeon is purely based around the Rugrats and Hey Arnold. Whereas obviously you've got to think Nickelodeon as a whole will own a shit ton of IP.
Yeah.
SpongeBob. Do you know what I'm saying?
Strong, yeah.
There's just...
What else do they own?
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think what I watched as a kid, like what I'd get back from school to watch.
What about Ed, and Eddie? Was that... No, it's Cartoon Network.
I was thinking I was like Jackie Chan and that as Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. They've got a ton, mate. There's loads. I guess Rugrats is one of the biggest. SpongeBob is definitely huge.
I mean, Rugrats is big enough anyway, so...
And Hey Arnold, to be fair.
That's fine.
But either way, so this collection is based around them, like a profile picture collection. So far, all I've heard is that it's collectibles, but I don't know if there's any like utility. But the thought in my head was like, because of that IP, if they did follow any type of like Bored Ape strategy that was giving the owners of these profile pictures IP rights and then potentially bought back like a series, I don't know, creating this, and you could cast that NFT, then that is some serious utility in such a big company.
Wild. And the only thing I would have thought is like if they're using characters from Rugrats show, there is only like a set, I don't know, for the sake of conversation, 10 characters in
100%.
Rugrats. So you're not going to be able to own.
I mean, it's not,
them,
mate.
surely.
It's one of them things. It's more speculation of what
man.
could happen, rather than.
Oh, bro, I mean, I'd love that to
I
happen.
think
I'd
it's
love
just
to see
going to
that.
be collectibles.
I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see like a big brand actually do something innovative.
Yeah,
like a big Web2 brand or a big current brand that is already existing, do something innovative in the space.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I guess I guess that kind of like ties into the Fox Entertainment stuff we'll go on to with actually putting something on the chain, like a full series. But the other thing I think they're doing correctly, is that this is only going to be $50 right now. That's like perfect. And I genuinely think because of the state of the market, it might not even do that well. Like, as in, like, there's not going to, like, where are all the people unless like the diehard like NFT people that are really in it and on Twitter at the moment.
Yeah,
but it's just stack things like that. Like, that's sick. It's Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
you can't go
it's
wrong.
fairly
It's proven.
cheap, isn't it? The thing is as well though, right now actually, you would think like a massive brand, you're gonna have a lot of fans of Rugrats, etc. But
Of course you are.
the crossover is like, how many big fans of Rugrats have you got that also intersect, that also have a interest in NFTs or even understand what NFTs are? It does reduce the pool quite a bit.
Of course it does, yeah.
But I mean, it is a big brand, so.
But I guess
you never know.
it is nostalgia, and it's like if the Rugrat, like, you got to think about it. Have the Rugrats? I don't know. Like, have the Rugrats ever had like a card game or anything like that? I assume maybe, but into the future now, like as it becomes more and more nostalgic, because I mean, first it was like it is in the 90s really. Even the tweet they came out with was like the 90s are calling. They want your attention back. So think about that in like a 30-year span when the Rugrats are like even older, and it's like, yeah, I own a piece of history from the Rugrats. I own the only thing that literally can prove to everyone that I own from this show. And I think that's really cool. So it's definitely one I'll be looking at.
Hype.
But yeah, check it out, Nickelodeon. I think it's like Nickelodeon NFT on Twitter.
Is there any date or anything for it?
19th of July is the drop date, and then $50 is the equivalent, is the cash amount.
Sick. Lacoste NFT.
Yeah, sick. So this dropped recently and kind of,
It's done quite well.
yeah, it kind of defeated the fact that like everything is flopping right now, because to be fair, you could have like 4 or 5 extra money if you bought it, because the mint price was 0.08 plus gas, and then I saw it up at like 0.4 at one stage. So I think it's like
Nice.
at 0.3 maybe right now today. I'm not sure. It was yesterday.
What's the
so
artwork like for that?
I don't know yet. It's unrevealed, but
Oh, is it?
and then so really everyone would be like, right, that's another. It's Lacoste, like it's a brand everyone knows. It's been about for ages, and then it's like, well, what everyone cares about is what utility is, like what utility could be behind that for now. And they've only released like a couple of things, which they've said that. So like on a lot of sites now, anyway, like you've got like Nike custom designs, like where you can
personalize your stuff.
Personalize all your shit, and you can do that on Lacoste anyway, but supposedly the holders of this will be able to have unique customizations, something like that. Then secondly, they will get creative input, or the DAO, so like the people who own the NFTs will have creative input in the underwater collection and products that they create. Underwater being the name of the actual collection. It's like something like that.
I mean, this is kind of cool, man. I mean, this is what we talked about in a couple of previous episodes, where it's like this is actually something where if like this brand would have big enough fans where putting utility in place to give you, I don't know, even just like the basic stuff like discounts or their events, that is actually quite exciting.
Yeah,
I feel
massively.
like it's a big enough brand where that actually matters.
Yeah, it's huge.
So
Like,
I like that, man.
Again, I just find any brand that's given me a little piece of ownership in some sort of way that's been about for ages, proven themselves, and I actually rate. Of course, why not?
Yeah, man.
Especially at the moment when it's that cheap. It's on sale, bro. Like, what have you got to lose?
Everything feels like it's on sale right now. This is why it's exciting.
It does, yeah.
This is why it's exciting, because the more ETH
You
is
want to buy
dropping,
everything.
like we're getting off at tangents here that I know we're going to talk about in a little bit, but
Yeah.
the more ETH drops, the more you can get like the blue
Well,
chip
think
stuff.
about the risks we were taking before with more money. Now we can to basically spend this, like, if you look at it like that, spend the same money and have more risk opportunities. So basically you've got more chance of one being successful if you're looking at it purely through monetary lenses.
But no, just all of a sudden, like these NFTs that might have been out of reach are suddenly like in reach.
Yeah,
reach out and grab.
It's legit, mate. It's so sick. There's one like particularly in terms of the utility side of things. There is one project I know that we've discussed a few times, and that will be known. Like this person will be known by loads of people on YouTube and all over the place. But Logan Paul's project, that is 99 Originals. Yeah. I think the utility attached to that and the idea, to be fair, is really sick. It's very different to these like large piece NFT collections that come out with huge, like 10,000 NFTs and all that. And it's called 99 Originals. So it's an NFT that drops every day from a series of photos that he's taken on a Polaroid, based on like, I guess, a year's work, where he just tried to capture loads of different things, and they're auctioned off every day on his site. And then the money of that is going to the treasury, but then the DAO. So every time someone owns them and enters like the DAO, so they're going to be part of that DAO, meaning that they get all sorts of benefits, such as, like, you know, his Prime hydration drink he bought out of KSI. That the DAO's getting like 1% of that company or something like that, which is insane, because if that goes huge, then there's only 99 people in that, so the benefits of that would be ridiculous. And think about the cost of ETH right now and people pulling off.
I love that they're taking more of an innovative, or more like brands and projects are taking a bit more of an innovative like route to dropping them.
Yeah.
In terms of like the 99, the one every day, the auction. I think that's really cool.
Really, and everyone has unique benefits as well. So it's like, one of them was like, if you get this one, it means you get number 49 for free. Or if you get this one, it means you can be the next guest on Impulsive.
It's just like exciting. It's why the reveals are so exciting. It's pure like trading card.
It's been done well.
Trade card. I can't even speak today. Pure like trading card, like excitement. Do you know what I mean? Like what are you gonna get? Like this could be an amazing rare one. You could strike real lucky.
I think it's just so.
That's why we love the space, man.
Honestly, mate, he's really coordinating that so well, in my opinion. I think
I really, really like projects and companies giving back a percentage to the people that own it. I think that's just the boss move in any situation. And I think,
particularly if you like, you're keeping that like DAO pretty tight. I mean, like you say, 1% of like a large company that's doing a lot of revenue, like that can be a lot of money, like just for buying one thing. Yeah. And I mean, these auctions go on every day. I mean, they're not cheap, I'm not gonna lie, but also the people in this DAO right now. I mean, like Gary V got gifted one for free at VCon by him. But yeah, just access, utility. I mean, you're directly accessible to Logan Paul as well, which for some people that might be
really
a big
in what
win.
way, over Discord or?
Well, yeah, I guess like if you're one of the 99 people, then I'm sure you'll end up chatting to him at some point. And then, like I said, one of the guests can go on, like, one of them was like, this is like your ticket to be a guest on Impulsive, which is pretty mad. Like, from like a marketing standpoint, if you got anything like to shout out, they've got huge
Gary
reach.
V's always talked about that, how NFTs are basically, access is one of the massive things you can give with those. 100%. That's what he's done with V-Friends, isn't it? Given just crazy amounts of access to himself for his time.
Yeah. This is one of the things that, like, we were talking about in the car, was that I think some people who aren't into NFTs are kind of getting the wrong end of the stick, in terms of they think that people are just getting an NFT collection or can create an NFT collection out of thin air, generate a load of cash, and like that's kind of it. But like it's not actually that easy, like, and won't continue to be. It's more about, have you built brand before that? Like, brand is still so important. It's still
number one by
exactly. If you've built a huge brand, then making an NFT collection firstly gives two things. It allows you to have the audience to potentially like want to buy it, and then secondly, it actually gives you, like, you can give the opportunities that you've built through building your brand to the people. So you've actually got something to give back.
It's why everyone's, one of the main definitions that gets bandied about with Web3 as well is about like building community, and that's literally the one of the defining features of Web3 over Web2.
Yeah.
And marketing in Web3 anyway. It's about building community.
It's really like that. Like at its core, it's so like that about community and I think that's sick as well.
Yeah, it's fire.
But go on to your favourite now. Get into Fox Entertainment.
Where's that?
The Fox Entertainment. You're telling me about the.
I just missed that my show notes. Okay, yeah, no worries. Well, anyway, so Fox Entertainment's getting into the NFT space, and
in a big way, but it sounds of it as well.
In a big way. I mean, this is technically not actually new news. I think this was like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, actually, when they came out and they're actually making like $100 million investment into their NFT stuff, basically. But they are fully committed to. I think it's like the CEO of Fox or something came out and was like, this space is super interesting.
Yeah.
He's got a show coming out basically with Dan Harmon,
the Rick and Morty guy.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. What the hell does he make? He makes some other stuff as well.
Is he like a cartoon designer?
Yeah, Rick and Morty. Other stuff as well. Like in fact, it's not Family Guy, is it?
I wouldn't know, to be fair.
I'm having an absolute mind blank now, but he's like one of the most famous animators going, and he's done loads of sick projects other than Rick and Morty, but it's probably what he's mostly known for now. Anyway, he's doing a show called Crabopolis, I think, with Fox, and it's going to be done completely on chain.
That's crazy.
So I don't know if that's like the world's first or anything, but they're just basically.
I think it would be the first, probably series on chain.
But it's just hype, and I mean, it's hype for many reasons, but it's also really, really cool to see, in theory, that NFTs were just such an amazing like gift to creators.
Yeah.
In the sense that an artist can release their work and is compensated every time the sales, as they should be. They're getting their royalties, and royalties are tracked and just give them straight to them through the smart contract thing. But it's really exciting to see.
Again, caveating that with the fact that don't overlook it if you're just beginning and think that you can just put out an NFT collection and no offense, be a nobody. Like you've still got to build that brand behind it for people to care.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's just with anything. You can't just put something out and be like, it's an NFT, everyone cares now. That's not.
But that being said, I mean, still a lot of the most successful ones originally, when this became a thing, they were relatively unknown to the masses.
They were,
and they use NFTs as a tool to become big.
I don't think it's gonna move like that mainstream. Like the way like everyone's pushing this out there now, saying, all these artists, all these people should have their own NFT projects or think about it in that way. Yeah, absolutely. But when it becomes more mass related, it is going to come down to who's got the biggest brand, like whose brand actually cares about that person to actually buy in.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's just really cool
the
now
way it originated was
to see like a big brand kind of doing this and be making moves in this way.
Yeah.
The quote, I don't remember what the quote was now that he said, but and I'm pretty sure it was the CEO, but he was like, people don't realize it's so early. Again, this is something we've been saying and reminding people. It's so early in this space. It's not over. It's not even started. He was like, it's not even like we've just thrown the first baseball in a baseball game. It's like we're still at batting practice or something with the technology. The technology's not actually there. Yeah, for them to do what they're setting out to do and putting this show completely on chain. It's not even there. Like, how the fuck would you even consume that? Like, how is that getting at? What does that even mean for the consumer? Like, it's not there yet, but the point being is it's going to evolve to that, in that direction probably.
Yeah.
It's gonna change.
It's so true, mate. That analogy is so true as well.
It's not even like he was actually went on to say, like, it's not even like it's going to completely annihilate the current like third party providers. I don't know, like your Netflix and Disney Plus and Disney Plus may be a bad example, but Netflix and your streaming services.
Yeah, it's just going to get
not necessarily. Well, it could, but it just means that people that want to consume, say, their show, if it's on chain completely, will be able to watch it first directly from them
before it goes and gets sold to.
Yeah, and then the rights can maybe then get put out on like a secondary basis to those distributors.
It's mate, there's just so much shit, and there was something about 100. Haven't they like put 100 million into it or something? What was that about?
I think I guess that's just their budget that they're putting towards developing NFT related
Do you know what I
putting
mean?
stuff
That's
on chain
serious
shows.
amount of money.
Mm.
That's just insane, mate.
Oh man, I've just definitely slurped down the microphone.
No, it didn't matter. I did it earlier as well.
Not the dream. Not the dream. It's turned into the ASMR channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's like proper exciting, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. I mean, you and I have been saying this from the get go. The technology, we're excited because the technology is going to evolve, and what people see right now with just art projects dropping and stuff, that is like such a tiny bit of where this is going to go.
Yeah,
and where
that's where it's getting
to.
too narrow-minded.
Yeah.
It needs to be like, how does this apply to, like, if it's still getting talked about all the time, people have got to start realizing, how does this apply to real life, and how is it going to affect things moving forward? But I don't know, man. I feel like you said, it's still so early, and we're a long way off. So
Literally,
but
excited to see where it goes. Man.
Moving back into the, I guess
General news,
the general news, and like
worth
the going into like projects again. That Goblin Town team, Goblin Town came out for people who care about it. Obviously, this project we talked about in a previous video, but
Jack's pissed before we go any further because he saw. What did you see it at, bro? When it was.
Oh,
you saw it minting. Or?
No, I didn't see it minting because it was a free mint, but I saw it at 0.5, I think it was, and I was like, I should buy this, but I didn't. Anyway, it went up to like 5 ETH or something.
We've done that so many times.
Oh, it happens all the time.
You call me like a day later, being like, bro, I nearly phoned you to say get this.
Yeah.
You need to start phoning me a bit more degen and just be like,
Mate,
just get this one, bro.
He's like, he's ringing me again about NFTs.
I don't even give a shit, bro. Just like, maybe if 1 out of 4 of the calls that you'd made came off, you'd still be freaking laughing. So you just stop worrying and call me more often about that.
To be fair, I've still there's been a few good ones, but there's just so many I've missed. Yeah. But the anyway, so this came out of nowhere. It was a free mint. It pumped to like 5 ETH. There was rumors that there was like Yuga Labs behind them, which were the creators of Bored Ape, and Lava Labs, and just all these rumors which kind of kept the price up, and also the activity, the volume trading. But then this random, well, I wouldn't say random, they've created 2 projects before, but just someone no one expected really came out. It's called Truth Labs, and they basically said they're the people behind it. They felt responsible to basically say they were the people, to dox themselves and say they were the people behind it, which got mixed reactions on Twitter. Obviously, people were like, they shouldn't have done it because they know it was going to drop the price because the hype was based on people the speculation. Yeah, basically.
God, this space can be weird sometimes.
Do you know what, though? It didn't even, it's like 2.9 ETH. It hasn't dropped that much, so it was a successful project. They did like 34,000 ETH in volume, which is probably testament to the fact that people thought it was
some of the other projects have actually gone up a little bit as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think overall, I don't think it's a bad thing that they've ducked themselves. I think they just didn't expect it to be as big as it is, and now they're being like, there's no roadmap. There never will be, they said. There's no utility. Then there never will be. It's for the people. So it's kind of like, I guess it was just quite kind of a fun project that kind of span out of control. But now they're going to like NFT NYC. They were saying they've got like a food truck and all this shit, like McGoblin burgers and shit like something like this.
Yeah, on the show notes, bro, you put like they're only representing an NYC with a food truck. Is that like the only?
Yeah, I put lol next to it.
Appearance they're making.
What did I actually put?
Explain that though. Explain.
What? That they're going there with a food truck?
Well, yeah, but you said something like that. They were only going there with a food truck. They're not doing anything serious. They're literally just rocking up with a food van.
No. I put building an NFT NYC with a food truck. Lol. I don't know.
All right, I
think they're basically just putting themselves out there, but they've got a food truck. To be fair, I haven't really.
How badly on a scale of 1 to 10 do you want to be at NFT NYC?
Yeah, very badly, mate.
We'll get there.
To be fair, when's that coming up? That's soon.
Maybe we'll go.
Yeah, we could go.
Maybe I'll surprise you with a couple of tickets. A romantic getaway for 2.
Oh, if you surprise me, I love that.
That's actually probably your dream, isn't it?
Oh, I'd get gassed.
To be honest.
Fucking hell, it's stormy outside, isn't it?
I hope it's not picking up on the mic.
Yeah, me too.
If you can hear rain and stuff, that's
what's
going on. Welcome to the UK. Right.
Last thing about the market, though, before we move on to this general. I saw a tweet and then I double checked it myself. no floor price right now is above 6 figures or even at 6 figures, which is insane. So you've got to think like
Bored Ape is now below 6 figures.
Yeah, everything's I think the highest is like in the 90k, something like that, in the 90,000s.
Shit.
Which is quite mad, really, if you think about that. Like a few months ago, that was insane.
Yeah, bro. I mean, we can go around this conversation, keep getting each other gassed up about how cheap NFTs and ETH is right now, but
That's
probably
true.
I'm not sure. I don't know if that makes good viewing for the people watching or not. But
True, yeah, we're excited.
just stack that ETH. Right, bro. Takashi apology.
Oh yeah, man.
Why did he apologise? I don't really get this.
No, exactly. That's why I put it in, because I was thinking like
Apologising for the floor price.
he apologized for the floor price because he just thinks that, I guess, that Murakami flower collection he bought out, which is like his signature flowers that he does in real life art, that he made into a collection. But I mean, the floor price is still like over 2 ETH, but I think it was like going really high at one point, and now he feels gutted. But everyone, he feels.
I just love how you phrase this shit.
He he is gutted about it apparently, and then he was like apologizing to the collectors and stuff, and his fans were like, "It's not your fault." So I just think that, and that's the point is, yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on the founder, isn't there, to make money for the
And I really feel like the people within it need to just be way more understanding that it takes time to build things. It takes time to build value. He's already got the value, and sometimes you can't, like, look at every project right now, it's down. He shouldn't be apologizing. He's done nothing wrong. He's like a legitimate artist that's been about for years.
Yeah, fair.
So it was interesting, but yeah, and then we have fucking slandering off Bill Gates, which I don't think
Bill
did
needs
any
to
good
pipe
for us.
down.
Big Billy.
Yeah,
It surprises
Billy
me,
Big
mate.
Bollocks.
Someone who's like gassed up on, or like made his like fortune on Web 2 and like tech in general, I find insane to be shitting on like the future of technology right now.
Mate, it's not the first person of that kind of ilk that I've seen fudding, to be honest with you. And I like listen, if I'm about to like maybe disrespect Bill Gates here, and this guy's a billionaire, and
Yeah,
so
it doesn't matter though. Do you
realistically,
know what
I can't touch that. But I've seen people of that kind of age group, people in like finance, like the biggest bankers. I've genuinely seen quotes from them being like, "Yeah, fuck Bitcoin, fuck crypto, it's fucking nonsense."
Yeah.
And I do think, I mean, this guy is at the front. He's a billionaire, like one of the. Is he the richest? It's Elon Musk now, isn't it? Yeah, it's the richest.
I think Elon Musk. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So listen,
think so.
hats off to
Not
him. He's a
sure,
billionaire.
yeah.
He's one of the most
He's a
successful
big
men
boy,
in
though, isn't
history. So realistically, like, what who are we to say? But I just have noticed a lot of people that are of a certain age group, as successful as they might be and as heavily involved in finance as they might be, just disrespect it. And I feel like it's almost an age thing.
Potentially.
Probably like very
probably like
ageist comment
ignorant.
coming from me, but I don't know.
It's kind of ridiculous though, because it's like he basically said, Bill Gates says that it's based on, he was like, it's all based on greater fool theory, so that like you basically see like values created in it. Do you know what I mean? It's not actually backed by anything. It's just you're willing to pay more for it.
Is that not every currency ever?
Thank you. This is my point. Like isn't like dollars not even backed by gold anymore? Do you know what I mean?
Right,
it was
yeah.
backed by something at one point, which was gold. Like now it's not backed by anything. So now it's just it's just perceived
At one
value.
point, someone decided gold was worth a lot of things, a lot of money.
This is exactly
You know?
which makes it insane.
It's bizarre.
People, if people are willing to trade something,
Literally,
It's got value.
value is perception.
of course it is.
Like
It's
again,
gotta
back to
be.
the Nan's jumper analogy.
Yeah,
Like if your Nan gave you that jumper and I've got
Yeah.
the same one, you're still going to value that one more.
of course I am.
Someone might
Sentimental rather than
back in caveman times, medieval times, trading sheep for like
I'll trade you a chicken
eggs.
for your hat.
Yeah. Great example. That's not where I was going. But yeah, it's perceived, isn't it? So again, I just don't really. He's got a point, but that you could apply that to everything.
But he went for
Do you know
Bored
what I
Ape
mean?
as well. Like he said, "Oh yeah, I really see how digital images of monkeys is going to help improve the world." And I just thought, do you know what? Like you're just using, that's kind of like either you're doing that for like a clickbaity title that you know is going to come out just for relevance, which I very much doubt. But still, it's like, why would you say that when it just kind of highlights ignorance? Like because NFTs in general. Like by saying that, you're attacking NFTs and NFTs in general with things attached to them and the underlying technology being the smart contracts and the blockchain. That very much could improve the world, like could improve systems that are within the world right now, like transactions for buying a house, like insurance. They could make costs go down slightly due to the eradication of the middleman and things like that, and they make those transactions way more smooth and fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy, but like I said, I have seen. I think it was like the head of the Bank of England or some. I don't want to like disrespect him if I've got the name wrong, but someone like that, came out and said like Bitcoin's crap and.
Well, they're not going to like it, are they? If he's
true. Yeah, but you would think they'd just be like forward thinking and like if they see a threat to their status quo, they would move on that.
They probably are.
Yeah,
they probably are.
Yeah, I mean, bro. At the end of the day, these are people's words, and you've got to judge them on the actions. At the end of the day, so they come out and say
absolutely. And I also think you really like say it all the time. People in the space say it all the time. Do your own research. See what believe what you choose to believe. Go and look in and see what's actually happening. Who's building? What brands are building? All these things, they're so important because just because one billionaire has said that they don't see how this is going to work. He's a billionaire. He doesn't care. Like what? Like
he's done. He's out.
He's old as well. Like he's not super old, but like he's getting old. Like he doesn't really need to care either. It's not his future necessarily, or it won't be as part of it as much as maybe some younger people watching. True. So
yeah, he doesn't need to give a shit.
But and another use case which recently I looked at, which is jokes, is someone called a landlord in Manhattan. Yeah, Chris Okada is his name. I think he owns like quite a big real estate agency or something. He listed an office building in Manhattan as an NFT on OpenSea, and like the the value of it was meant to be 29 million. So the ETH, obviously the ETH equivalent to 29 million.
Yeah.
And then it dropped like 40%, so we had to scramble to change the price really quickly. No, so no one bought it. So what it did was, this is interesting, but also shows that we're really far away, was like he put, if you bought this NFT, it would mean that you had the exclusive rights to acquire the apartment. So to the apartment, the building, and the uses rights and the related deed covenants and all the stuff related to that.
Like an option to buy?
No, like you'd effectively have transferred the funds, so you'd paid for it.
Yeah.
You'd then own the exclusive rights to acquire all the things related to purchasing property. But then that wouldn't be the completion of the actual process. He couldn't just hand you the keys. So it would be all the usual real estate processes that have to go on, like the legalities and actually handing over the deeds and the titles and all that stuff, still had to happen. So I think it's a huge step in the right direction in terms of NFTs being used to actually sell real estate and make it easier. Although this one still
fucked it up, didn't he? Really? Because Ethereum is bare volatile.
That, yeah. So that's two things. That point alone is that he either super believes in Ethereum if he's willing to just have that in Ethereum, but also the point that like it is, he's attempted like I don't know, he's attempted an NFT to kickstart this. So he's just got so much belief in crypto NFTs for a start. You'd have to list a building for that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I find that insane, but
yeah, so do I. Like, I don't necessarily know what. I mean, surely at some point it'll be completely on chain, and you won't have to do the in-person paperwork.
It could have been a marketing stunt for his business, you know, just to be like, look, we're the first people to try and do this properly. But I think like when it comes that literally you buy that NFT and you can get given the keys, then that transaction is seamless. But I also think that the transfer of funds of $29 million. And I've never done that, unfortunately. But I can't imagine that.
You're telling me you've got that in your bank?
I can't imagine
I
can't imagine that's instant. I can't imagine that's a process that takes like 2 seconds the way it does if you purchase it in Ethereum through your MetaMask, through your wallet.
I don't even care about the speed of it that much. That's not what excites me. It's just like
it's not. But like
infallibility of it, like you can't.
But it's also how easy is that though? Sometimes like large sums of money take months. So if you wanted to actually acquire that building fast, done. And there's no messing about. There's no banks putting blocks on your money saying, why are you buying it? All this sort of stuff.
Well, it's that. It's the ease of it, man.
It's like
really
giving
is.
you full control,
Yeah.
but which is kind of, I guess,
I think that's sick.
an ode to decentralization or
Yeah,
a step
same.
towards it.
Cool. Well, we always try and talk a little bit about strategy. Again, always caveat with the fact that it's not financial advice, but we just talk about what we're kind of thinking at the moment.
Yeah,
And I mean, I think we've maybe said this about 3 times in this episode already, but
probably. Stack your ETH.
yeah. Listen, the more this
It's not
drops in
financial
price,
advice, though.
yeah, this isn't financial advice, but the main thing that we would say right now is this is just a mad opportunity to be stacking an asset that is just has so much potential.
Yeah.
Realistically, and the more this reduces in price, like I swear, I'm going to say this to you rather than the audience because it's not financial advice.
Yeah.
I implore you to, the cheaper this gets, just to keep positive and keep trying to acquire more of it because.
Thank you, mate.
No worries, man.
I'll
I'm
take
giving
that
you
on board.
financial advice.
No.
Just stack this right now. Like figure
100%.
out how you can, Jack. Figure out how you can get money to put into this.
No,
You know
it's
how you
true,
can
I agree.
get your finances in order to be able to just drip
Drip
money,
feed and-
drip feed, yeah, and acquire
Cash
while
flow
it's
sheets,
cheap.
bro. Like literally just get a cash flow of your life. What's coming in, what's going out. Have you got any spare? Is the things that you're doing that you could cut back on? Are you going out boozing every weekend? If you can, like, is that 200 quid that you're spending on the weekend? Could you even cut that out once so you do it 3 times a month rather than 4? And then use that to make smarter decisions. I mean, look, we're not trying to tell you how to live your life. We're just trying to give you ideas to think about to capitalize on this situation because we want you to win. But
Because this is a conversation. This is a conversation we have regularly. It's like
100%.
how can we right now just build and acquire right now when everybody else is scared and selling?
Exactly, and that is the move. The strategy: build, acquire, get into, even with NFTs, get into projects that you actually believe in. And I would genuinely just look at, like, throughout this whole time, whilst everything's shit, keep an eye on the constant ones that remain up there in trading volume. That is going to tell you a lot. Like, and the team behind them will show a lot as to how far they could go because of their connections and past experience. But also, are people trading these still, even given the market? So I think that would be the play for NFTs. Cryptocurrencies, we don't want to tell you which ones to get, but we love Ethereum, we love Bitcoin, the more, I guess, notorious ones. But just make your own decisions on that. But like, really, just don't be worried. That's the main thing.
Man.
This is opportunity time, not panic time.
Listen, remember as well, if a couple of months ago, the idea that you can maybe buy like a moonbird, for example, was far-fetched for a lot of people. I mean, it still is, don't get me wrong, like, it's still expensive, like, of course, but it's a hell of a lot more achievable right now.
Well, bro, I swear it was like $90,000 and now it's like $20,000.
Yeah,
that's
cool,
a huge decrease. Like,
yeah. So, like, imagine trying to get yourself in a position where you could afford something like that. You managed to make that purchase and then hold that for a couple of years and see. And where the hell do you think you're going to be?
Exactly. This is the thing. It's like, and if you can't even afford to stack up into those, then maybe just if you can't afford to like get directly into that NFT project, then like you can buy as much crypto as you want. Do you know what I mean? So you could just put little bits away, and putting little bits away whilst it's this low, if you believe in it long term, and again, not financial advice, but if you believe in it long term, that could be your play.
Yeah. Who was it you were saying? Who said about if you have one Bitcoin in 2030?
I can't remember his name, but he was like,
What was the quote?
It was a YouTuber, and I watched this about a year ago, and it was like, if you have one Bitcoin by like 2030, or your aim should, I don't know why now, but it was by like 2030 that you'd be able to retire for like 40 years in some really random island. It was really interesting. I should probably, I'd like to actually say more about that, but yeah, I mean, look, it's been about for a while now. Well, it's been about for years. So, these crashes have happened almost like clockwork to a degree. But obviously, the world. This isn't just crypto right now. This is the world. Like, there's a lot of problems. The stock market's crashing.
Don't freak out, man. This is the time to build.
It's opportunity time, and the short term flip game with NFTs as well is like you probably could still do that if you just really keep your ears to the ground. But there's opportunity without having to scan Twitter and OpenSea 24 hours a day, trying to figure out which one you can flip to make like an extra $200. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Facts. It's an exciting time if you've got your head in the right place.
And like we said, DM us. If anyone is genuinely struggling.
If you want a dose of our optimism.
Yeah, you want a little bit of the Jack and George time. Just DM us. And if you
sounds wrong.
Even if they want to like chat to us about anything,
we don't
to
share.
Be fair, like we want to connect with like anyone watching this and like the people who follow us and really like build community around people who care about this as much as we do. So
message us and tell us what NFTs you bought. Like it might sound daft, but we get
gassed about this.
We just love chatting about NFTs. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, feel free. So we usually run up with like upcoming projects that we're excited about that are kind of coming out maybe in the next couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most driest times for a long, long time. There is nothing really coming up other than the Possessed is coming up still, and we've got mint price for that now. 0.3,
which I think is
0.35, which is
greedy in my opinion, but
high and ballsy considering the current climate. You know, so we'll see how this one goes.
Relative to the price, that is what they're thinking, but also like if they do just stack that ETH and they were going to charge say like 0.15 when ETH was what it was not even long ago, then they're going to end up having made a lot more money off the mint. But I don't know, man. It'll be very interesting to see how that one goes. I feel like they've kind of killed their own hype.
Yeah, I mean, we was rewind like 2 months ago, or maybe 2.5, 3 months ago. I don't know. I can't remember when it was, but we were so excited about the Possessed, and their artwork was amazing. Well, it is amazing. That's not changed.
Yeah, the artwork's sick.
I feel like they've. I mean, I obviously wanted to wait because of market conditions. I understand that, but I think
market conditions were okay at one point though when they were really booming. They've just seemed to have taken.
They've lost people with their analogies, I think, as well. Like the whole like test subject and radio's broken. Like our test subject room's broken. It's like I don't know what you're actually
waiting to get in the Discord.
I don't know what you're actually talking about with these tweets and stuff. It's not easy for me to follow. I mean, you could argue maybe I should have paid more attention, but
no,
frankly,
because I think some of their things were broken as well. Because I know a lot of people that like waited up to get in. Do you know what I mean? Like to actually be in the Discord to have their 15 minutes to speak, and like it didn't actually work.
I think that 15-minute slot thing was a bit difficult as well, because if you're trying to cultivate community,
yes,
but you're only giving people 15 minutes to chat in there. Like I understand. You're obviously trying to cultivate exclusivity, but I do think I don't know how you're supposed to make
everyone's just
like that.
Well, this is what I mean. This is what I don't really like is that I think they tried to come up with a new way of whitelisting people, which was new. Like I give them credit that was quite cool. Like it was the idea behind it was cool. I'm not sure the execution was incredible because I think people did just get a bit frustrated, and like you said, if you want to build community, shutting people out maybe is not the best way to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair. I mean, no, we're not funding their project. I really want with the.
I think. Carry on.
Just
so I'm not
tripping over my tongue, mate. I don't want to be seen as like footing their projects. I think really. No. We try and spread the positivity more than anything, but those would just be some things that we've observed. I mean, at one point we were so gassed about this project
because the artwork is sick. Nothing's changed in that regard, like you said. But I think they've timed it a little bit wrong, which isn't their fault necessarily. I think they could have released it a little bit earlier when the hype was still there. But personally, I have no idea how it's going to go. I hope it does well, but I think they're charging quite a lot for it, and it's going to be really interesting to see if they mint out. And the fact that half of it is open to the public, who knows?
Yeah, well, we'll see. That's probably a good place to leave it. There we go.
100%.
What was we got a date for the Possessed again? Do you want to remind people just while we're here?
30th of June, I believe.
Boom, there we go.
That's off the top of my head.
Okay, don't quote us on that then.
But yeah.
Sick. Well, there we go. Thank you so much.
Episode 4, give me a spud, mate.
Oh, sorry. Don't leave you hanging there.
Nah, you good.
Thank you so much. If you've watched the entirety of this and you're still with us, we massively appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new. This is NFT Party. I'm going to go with the number one NFT
Number one
podcast.
podcast in the world.
Baby. Share it with your friends. If you want to, DM us, chat NFTs, tell us about what NFTs you bought. We will. We always appreciate that.
And watch us in a few years. End up boxing a load of other NFT YouTubers.
Is that what you dream about? That's the first time you've ever said that in your life.
I know, it's just
surprised me there.
Because all these YouTubers just keep boxing each other.
Well, you and NFT King's going to go at it.
Imagine, that'd be jokes. He'd get banged.
He's got his eye on you.
No, I'm joking.
Right, before you land us in a whole world of shit that we weren't expecting, let's wrap that one up. Like and subscribe. Love you.
Yeah, big love.